Hello guys, this is Melissa Zad for Into Boxing and I am delighted to be joined by the man himself. I am so excited for this moment, Deion. The man himself, Deion Jumah, the Ghost, back in action on Sky Sports on Boxer Show Saturday night versus Richard Riakporhe. How are we feeling?
Amazing, good to go. As you know, it's been a long time coming. Now we're headlining the show at Wembley on Saturday. Amazing.
It feels very, in a way, fated. It feels very cosmic. It feels like, you know, you have been waiting actually patiently, so patiently. I don't know how you've done it.
Or impatiently.
Yeah, or impatiently, but you've done the waiting.
Yeah.
And now it's like you've been given this opportunity. And you know what's really special? Obviously, when the lineup was announced, you were initially meant to be fighting Mikel Lawal, and Richard Riakporhe was facing Turchi. Now, Turchi got an injury, if I'm not mistaken, and Mikel Lawal got COVID. So obviously they put the fight to you guys, and you guys said yes and accepted it. So you went from fighting another cruiserweight on the card to now headlining. What do you have to say about all of that?
It was written. Some things are just written, just meant to be. So I'm not sure how quick Richard took the fight. I know he makes out like he took it so quickly, but everyone knows I've been asking for this fight for such a long time. So as soon as it came up, I spoke to Lee, I said, yeah, let's make it happen.
I know, this is something that obviously we've spoken about in the past. It's something that the British boxing fans are just literally chomping at the bit to see. And you know, it's interesting, speaking to a lot of the fans, it seems like people are quite split about what might happen on Saturday night. You know, obviously we know Riakporhe, he's got that big right hand, you know, his power shot. But we also know you being an intelligent boxer. You've got the boxing IQ, you're very evasive, they don't call you the Ghost for nothing. I'm sure that throughout your camp and your training, you've had the names, Riakporhe, other relevant names in the cruiserweight division, in your mind, you know, the Acolis, etc. How has that impacted your training? How did that impact you taking on the offer of the fight?
It impacts your training as in, I always have these fighters in mind whenever I'm training, whoever I'm training for. I've got the top cruiserweights in mind, and Richard is one of them. So as soon as this fight got put to me, it was Lee Eaton who called me, said like, the fight's off, do you want this fight instead? I knew I was half prepared for him. Do you know what I mean? So a couple more weeks, obviously he's a slightly different fighter to Lawal, but there are similarities there, and we're ready for it. We're ready to get the win. You
said that there are some similarities there. What are some of the similarities? That, you know, is it in that, not with no disrespect meant on my side whatsoever, but is it that kind of one-trick pony power shot type style?
Power punching style, get your fighter hurt, having to win every exchange, big right hands, like.
Yeah, it's that kind of.
There are similarities style, in that, right? In their foundations, like So obviously, I think Richard and his coach think he's a different fighter now, but you can't change what you are, and you always will go back to exactly what you are. Richard doesn't want the fight to go the distance, and he will revert back to that, especially when I'm peppering him.
This is the thing, that what you said, I actually find it very interesting. I always say that when people are under pressure, they just revert back to their default settings. Yeah. You know, because that's the kind of stuff that's ingrained in you. You can't really like out-ingrain that unless it comes through like hours and hours and hours of practice. So it's interesting that you mentioned that. What I also found interesting was what Riakporhe was saying in the press conference. Let's pick up some of the things that he mentioned in that press conference. You know, he was kind of throwing shade, I suppose is the best way of putting it, saying, you know, you went to Team GB for a bit, don't know what happened there. You went to Sauerland, don't know what happened there. Obviously he was trying to get under your skin, but you seem very unrattled.
I don't know what type of reaction he wanted from that. What do you want me to say? Like, it's because I'm not good enough, Richard. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not good enough, and now I'm here, and like what do you want? I don't understand. Like, so.
Well, yes, exactly. Because
Richard is whenever you watch Richard, he's known for talking a load of nothing. So it's obviously working for him. Look, he's still on the big stage, so just keep talking a load of nothing. Makes no difference to my life. Made no difference to my victory on the 26th.
You know what's interesting though, because your reaction was just brilliant. You were like, I got dropped by GB. Nope, nothing. Like, you know,
What
just the
else
facts,
do you want?
right?
You know what I mean? Like,
The absolute facts. Okay, obviously, you know, throughout this training camp, you actually had a fight, you know, about 4 weeks ago.
yep,
And it was out in Essex, if I'm not mistaken.
yep, perfectly.
Yeah, Purfleet, that's right. What was the purpose of that fight, Deion?
The British Boxing Board said that I can't get my mandatory fight until I fight a 4 or 6 rounder. So that's what we had to do in Perfectly. So
Sorry,
obviously
1 second. They said to you that you couldn't get...
that before I took 2 years out because of my injury, I was mandatory for the British title. Now, since I've got my license back after 2 years, the British Boxing Board said I couldn't fight for my mandatory position until I had a 4 or a 6 rounder or any fight. So
Interesting definition of the word mandatory in their book, I think.
well, the mandatory that I've earned, basically, I can't have
Right,
until I
okay.
fight a 4 rounder.
Okay.
Which I found unfair, but whatever, we did it, we got the job done. The plan was to get in there without getting injured, without getting cut, because we did that fight in mid-camp.
Yes, yeah. Very weird time.
Yeah. So it was literally like using the fight like
Like a really hard
a
sparring
spar.
session.
Like yeah. But at the same time, don't get cut, don't get injured. Like
Don't put this fight in jeopardy.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is. It's all a part of. It's all gonna go in the book. Yeah. The Ghost Chronicles coming soon.
Oh, I want the first copy. Autograph, please. Obviously, you know, that was your first time back in the ring for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost exactly 2 years, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
How did it feel being back in the ring?
Natural. I've been, in the meantime, with the 2 years out, I've been working in the boxing gym. I've still been sparring when I could. And just, I've been around boxing in a big way. So, as ring rust, I don't think I had ring rust to work off. I think I didn't particularly box the way I usually box because of avoiding things like injuries, cuts, whatever. But yeah, it felt good.
You know, a lot of boxers, there are some boxers that perform better in sparring, and there are some boxers that perform better on fight nights.
Yeah.
And actually, there's some that the rules don't really apply, it's just hit and miss. But if there was one category that you would fall into, do you know which that would be?
Yeah, fight night, of course.
Because you actually seem to handle the pressure of fight night quite well.
Yeah, I'm all about the pressure. I perform better with my back to the wall.
Yeah.
Always. I've always been
Love
like
being the
that
underdog.
since I was a kid, not just in boxing, in life, in anything with I need the pressure to perform.
And obviously Saturday night you're coming into this as the quote-unquote underdog. Actually all the pressure's on you to create that upset, create that win, but it's Richard as the poster boy, I suppose, of Sky Sports and Boxer that has a little extra something to prove, you know, but someone's O has got to go. So Deion Jumah, before we let you go, let me know what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Late stoppage. I've said it before. We're going to outbox him, then we're going to stop him late.
You're going to derail the midnight train.
Derailed, big time.
Deion, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.